Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the London live stream. It's Monday here, pretty hectic week ahead of us. We'll do the weekly breakdown and then start breaking down the chart for today. Okay, so we do have a US bank holiday here today. We've already had some pretty good volume in Asian, so we'll do an analysis here on gold and see if we can continue with that volume up until some of these highs, possibly 1864, 1867 areas. So let's just dive into what's going on for the week. Okay, so we've got a US bank holiday today. We've got a GBP bank holiday on Thursday and as well as Friday. So there is that to be aware of. We also have a new monthly candle opening. Okay. How many days this month? 30, 31. 1 day left. So Wednesday we have a new monthly candle opening. Also something to be aware of. And then you've got a lot of high impact news later in the week. Okay, you've got ISM for the USD. You've got job openings. You've got ADP. You've got NFP and unemployment rate. So quite a lot going on this week. Could be a pretty volatile week. Let's see if we can take advantage of some of the less volatile times, although the issue is we may only get real nice volume after some of these bigger events, mainly NFP. So like I say, could be pretty volatile. We could see bursts of volatility and then consolidation. So it could be a tricky week. We'll take it slow, be patient, and yeah, so no guarantee we'll even have any trades today. Let's have a look here on the monthly. So the monthly, I suppose, is not, going to tell us too much. We'll check it again on Wednesday to see just how it closes, what we could anticipate on the next monthly candle. As of now, you can see we had a pretty strong push down as we broke into this range here. Basically mirrored that entire candle, tapped into support, had a pretty strong rejection. So, I mean, straight off the bat, like I say, we had a very strong move very early in the month, and we are now correcting that move. So next month you could possibly see price fill that wick and continue down. But anyway, let's get into what's going on here today. So your weekly candle here, alright, last week we basically tapped into this level here around 1865. And last week's candle looks slightly like an exhaustion candle. Okay, our body is smaller than the wick basically, but looking at what's happening already, we've had a pretty strong move up, starting to fill that range. So you had two possibilities here, or multiple possibilities could still play out. But for sells, you could, once you break the low of last week, you would be looking to move further down, and then you could also form a support on the lower time frames. Here on the daily you can see we did form that support, and we are now filling the wick of last week. So looking at Asian, okay, like I say, we had a pretty strong move up already. We've got a resistance here on a 4 hour. I know we've got a lot of wicks here, but we've closed above the bodies. Okay, we've got a very strong 4 hour candle here. We are likely to not see much more volume later in the day, so I'm thinking we may just see the last little spurt of volume now at London Open. So I'd like to see a pullback here on this 4 hour. I'd like to see a lower time frame support, maybe a support on a 30-minute to drive further up into 1864, 1867 areas. Okay, so let's work off our half an hour here. We've got a resistance. This is the resistance we have broken above and closed above. We do also have this level over here to be cautious of on an hourly. That is something to be aware of. Sorry, that's a 30 minutes. It's a pretty strong level. I wanted to target this level over here, but let's just keep in mind that that level there is pretty strong, and looking on a 4 hour, we have rejections over here as well. So like I say, I'd like to see a support formed. I'd like to see possibly a pullback into 1860 before driving further on up. If we happen to break above 1863 or 1864, we should see price move to 1867 500. So gonna stick with the bars. I got no analysis for sells right here. I'd only really be looking for sells below the daily support as we possibly break Friday's low or today's low, as you can see there. Our daily candle here tapped into the support of last week, formed late last week, and we have pushed up, filled yesterday's wick. We've broken yesterday's high. Sorry, not yesterday, Friday. So we, in theory, should push up and fill this range here. We've also got this daily resistance area we are reacting to here right now. Just something to be aware of. But like I say, a closure above 1863, we should be good. Otherwise, a support formed here to move up to 1863, and at that point we'd have stops at break even. So we'll just wait for what we want here on a 30 minutes, and then GJ, looking at GJ, starting on a weekly. Let's look at a monthly. Yeah, so your monthly candle basically corrected this entire move up, and we have now rejected this support level here. So we broke above, let's say 155, had a strong move up, corrected, retested this area, support was formed on the lower time frames, and we get beginning to move back up here. So your weekly definitely have a support level formed now. Okay. Week before last, we closed bullish on this level with quite a strong wick to the upside, but last week we tapped into support here, respected, and then closed bullish once again. So this week, if we break last week's high, we should certainly fill last week's wick. That's about 80 pips. And then pretty volatile week, so I don't know if we'll see an entire push back up to the high, but over the next couple of weeks we should begin to move back up to some of these levels at 165. Okay, so here on a daily, pretty much in consolidation. Price is forming lower highs and higher lows at the same time. It's pretty difficult to determine a bias here. you could say that we are downtrending, but like I say, higher time frame, we've now formed a support. So I'm going to keep the bias bullish, but for confirmation of that, we need some breaking of these previous highs here, some of these previous levels. So we have last week Thursday we created this high. Friday we did not break that level. I'd like to see a break of that level today to move up and tap into the next level there. We'll see on a lower time frame. It should be a slightly better range than that on a lower time frame. And then finally, if we break above both of these levels, we should certainly see price move up to 161,600. Okay, so here on an hourly we can adjust this level now to 160,680. Looks pretty good. This right over here is our daily level, so we'll just keep that marked up there as our final target. Basically, if we do have runners running here, that is a pretty strong level as well. Looking left, we have many reactions to that area. 5th of May, 9th, 10th. So pretty simple, straightforward here on GJ, just playing with the higher time frame bias, not looking for sales at all. We are in consolidation, so waiting for a break above resistance for a confirmation of the bullish bias for price to continue moving up. I think as soon as we break some of these highs, we could get quite a nice move up. So looking left, we've got about 30 pips here of nice traffic. 15 pips basically to fill that wick. So if we can get a closure just above resistance here and manage to get an entry before these wicks, we could possibly have our break-even point at some of these wicks. So waiting for a closure above resistance, and then, like I say, we can manage the trade as we move up into some of these levels. Right now, your hourly has no bottom wick, but we are breaking above some of these previous wicks, moving pretty strong. So just gonna wait it out here and wait for a closure. Okay, so we've already tapped into some of these wicks. As you can see, price has kind of already stopped at that level, so I'd like to see some retracement in the last 15 minutes here and possibly still get a closure above this level. What would be really nice is a closure, so like I say, a slight retracement here, closure above the level, our next 30-minute pulls back a little bit to create a bottom wick for the hourly, and if we get a flip on that candle, we should fill the wick and move up to resistance. So then your hourly candle would basically have that bottom wick and will have pushed back up to resistance. Quite a lot to ask for this hourly candle, but you can see volume has already picked up. It's not a very big range. It's pretty good for a trade though. So here on gold, like I say, waiting for a support to form on your 4 hourly candle. May not happen, so otherwise just looking for a closure above 1863. There's been quite a lot of volume here on gold already, but like I say, it's a bank holiday today, so we just want to be careful. If I don't like this setup when it comes, I don't think I'll take this trade. Alright, so that's your plan for gold here this morning. Got about 40 pips moving up here. Not bad at all. Yeah, GJ's really pushing here. So, yeah, like I say, your next possible option is to just wait for a break of this resistance. That'll be fine too. We should see some really nice momentum above that level there. I hope everyone had a great weekend. Thank you for joining the stream this morning. Say hello in the chat, say good morning. Give the stream a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'm here Monday to Friday. Generally never late. Actually never late. Tomorrow though, funnily enough, got something to do with my car, so I'll be a little bit late tomorrow. Maybe 15 minutes late. So we could be looking at a pretty funky week here. You know, a lot of high impact news, new monthly candle, and price right now is pretty much in consolidation. I think GJ in the next couple of days we should see a break of this resistance and a move up, and at that point we should have confirmed that okay, the bulls are in control here. One thing that is just on my mind is We have this weekly support area and your weekly candle closed below there. But looking at it daily, you can adjust the support area to here, and we are currently well respecting that level. So my bias is bullish on GJ for probably the next couple weeks. I was just concerned when I looked at the charts yesterday that we possibly pull down today, and then kind of just started to range tighter and tighter. As you can see, that's what's been happening. Range was pretty big, it's just becoming smaller, but at the end of the day you are still ranging. So until you break one of these highs or one of these lows, you are in consolidation. Then you have gold. Here on gold, you could also argue that you're in consolidation. You've got a resistance over there, and you've got a support level over here. This over here seemed to be some sort of fake out to move back up to resistance. But like I say, looking at your weekly, you've basically shown signs of rejection to this area at 1865, 1867. So your new weekly candle could just wick up into that area and then begin to move back down. Of course, once we break resistance here, that should give us a bit more confirmation to continue pushing up. But right now we are consolidating. You can see we formed that support. Friday we moved up and then moved back down, but closed bullish doji on support there, basically confirming that support, and hence today's candle we began to move up. But yeah, lots going on. Like I say, new monthly candle, high impact news and bank holidays. It's a pretty funky week ahead of us. So you just want to take it slow, know your times when to trade, and be patient. No trade is better than a losing trade. Okay, so GJ is pulling back a little bit. This is really not too bad. Like I say, I'd like to close somewhere around there, just above resistance. And I would not mind if our new 30-minute actually pulled back down, grabbed liquidity and created that bottom wick for your hourly. And then if that new 30-minute pushes back up and flips bullish, then you've basically got that whole wick to fill for about 10 pips, and then another 20 pips moving up to your first target. You can see gold is rejecting this level right now. So you could get a pushback down on the next 30 minutes, and like I say, we'll just wait for a support to form somewhere in this area. Could be here at 1860, could be here at 1858.5. Maybe we don't even form support and we just move down. Like I say, we are in consolidation. This entire area here is just a range. But in theory we should move up to the top of the range, giving us about 40 pips to play with here, possibly 70 pips if we form support in this area. Got about 2 minutes to your 30-minute closure. Most probably going to end up waiting for 9 o'clock to see anything happen here. We could see some volume in the new 30 minutes as we close above resistance here. Still not happy that the hourly does not have a bottom wick. So not going to do any sort of impulse entry. Rather wait for that bottom wick to be formed. And like I say, your new candle to flip bullish. So basically what I'd like to see on the new 30 minutes is if price opens up here, we drive down, form the wick for that hourly, and then as we flip, so we'll have a pretty steep wick here, then as we flip have our bar stops. As we fill some of these wicks, we'll move stops to break even, and then should push up into your next target. But what you may see happen is we form that bottom wick on the hourly and then close something like that. Then your new hour or new half an hour, we shall probably wait for a wick to form, and as we break above the previous 30, we get our entries and should move up nicely like that. So yeah, gold closed respecting resistance. Got a rejection candle here. We should push down back to support. And like I say, just gonna wait for a bullish candle closure around some of these levels to see if price will move back up and fill these highs. Keeping in mind today is a US bank holiday. We had a lot of volume in Asian. We have broken above some of these highs, and like I say, I would anticipate price to push back up to this high. So hoping with London volume, basically we get that push up, and then at that point you'll probably see volume die out for the rest of the day here on gold. GJ, we shouldn't have too many issues with regards to the bank holiday. Volume will obviously be dead during New York, or most likely will be pretty dead during New York here on GJ. But yeah, London should be alright. Your higher time frame is starting to line up. We've broken above a high here. You should push up into pretty much 161 by the end of the morning. So yeah, I'll only have a buy stop in above this candle once that low is formed. I'm just going to go make some coffee. I'll be back in about 5 minutes. Okay, so your 30-minute has tapped into this level. You know, we could even move up on this 30-minute, but we'll probably be waiting for 9 o'clock here. So yeah, we'll see how we close on a 15-minute. You know, if we're forming support and your 30-minute breaks its own high on the next 15 minutes, we could see this continuation up. Just trying to account for this candle having no bottom wick. Another option here, basically the same idea I was talking about on a 30-minute. So if this hourly candle closes above resistance, your new hourly pulls back down. We create that bottom wick for the previous hourly, probably looking at about a 20 pip stop, maybe 25 pips max, and then on the flip of the 9 o'clock candle, we should drive up quite nicely. Gold just consolidating, tapped into resistance, waiting for support to form. So yeah, looking like no trades until 9 o'clock. Sorry, I've been muted. I was just saying, so last week we had an entry here on gold. This was Friday. Above this bearish doji on a 30-minute. We had our entry. We secured half as we tapped into some of these highs at about 12 pips. Yes, yeah. 12 pips as we tapped into these highs, as you can see. 12 pips. And then our first target looking left was this same level here we have in today. Looking at this resistance. So we tapped into that target for about 51 pips. And that's where I secured the majority of my position. So if you're here on the stream, you should have secured at least 50 pips. So for the total for last week, we had 74 pips. Okay, yeah, we've got our wick created on the hourly. At this point, it's looking like a pretty strong rejection. So I would obviously like to see a push back up to close above that level there at 160,768. Of course, if we close below that level, then this becomes a rejection, and then this trade will not be valid anymore. This is your new 15-minute that's just pushed down like this. So we closed, just making conversation here. I mean, this is not really of too much importance. This is just trying to make sense of a range here. But we had this resistance here, we closed above. Okay, so this resistance should become support. We closed above on the previous 15. We pushed down pretty hard in the first couple minutes of this 15, forming the bottom wick for the hourly. If we flip back bullish on this 15 minutes, this should be then a support, and you could see us driving and closing back above this level. Obviously, that's just what I would like to see. So yeah, we could be looking at like a 23 to 27 pip stop if we do get bars above this previous candle. Good morning to anyone who's just joined. Thank you for joining the stream this morning. Just waiting for 9 o'clock here. Both of our pairs, we are looking for buys at the moment. Here on GJ, we closed above resistance on the previous 30-minute. Our new 30-minute has pulled down just the way we wanted, as we did not have a wick on this hourly candle, the current hourly candle. So we've now got that wick formed, but obviously we would like to see a pushback up here to close above resistance for the next hourly to continue pushing up to resistance. Here on gold, bit of a tricky situation on gold, considering today is a US bank holiday, but looking at Asian session, we had a lot of volume and we broke above resistance here. So if we form a support now as London opens, we should see price move up back to 163.5, and if we break those levels we should push up to our final targets here at 1867, sorry, comma 4. So yeah, we're slowly moving back up now after that wick was created. Morning Jared, how's it going? Everyone else on here, I think you should say hello in the chat there. Let me know who's watching. Give the video a thumbs up. Slowly inching back up here on GJ. We've only got 3 minutes left to our hourly closure, so not sitting in too good of a spot, but we'll see what happens here. Looks like we are going to form a support on a 15-minute at this level, so you could always see your next 15 minutes close bullish. If we get that, we should then push up to the highs here. So we'll see if we can get an entry on the lower time frames, but I would much prefer to see your hourly closing above resistance here. What's up, Shamar? I hope that's how you say it. Thanks for joining the stream. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday morning. So yeah, GJ, we're pushing back up here now. Looks like we're going to get a pretty much perfect closure. So this is pretty much one of the scenarios I discussed, us closing a bullish, bearish doji candle here on the 30 minutes with a long wick to the bottom, and then we'll have entries on the new hourly as we break this half an hour wick. Stops below the half an hour candle, so like I say, looking at 25 pips, 25 pips stop loss. So you're looking to put your stop loss at about 165.30. Bar stops will be at 167.90. Spread on GJ is not too bad. Let's say 785. So I haven't set the bar stop yet. I would like to see the hourly maybe tap back into support here and then drive up. Hey Nico, good morning. How's it going? So we have closed right on resistance. Tricky. I would like to see at this point, I'd like to see a bottom wick tap into at least 160.65. We may even just push straight up here. Slightly tricky situation, closing below resistance and no bottom wick, so no entries. No entries. Probably still looking to have a bar stop above the previous 30 minute, but like I say, I'd like to see that lower wick formed first. So there we've tapped into that level. If we can drive down, form a lower wick now, and then break above that level, we should be perfect to move on up. So as soon as that lower wick is formed, we'll have bar stops at 167.85, stop loss at 160.530. Our break even point will probably be as we fill this wick. Let's say 160.85. 850. We'll see. It's about 6 pips. Maybe we won't move stops to break even, but if we tap into this level and come back to break even, we can probably close half and just manage risk. Looking here at a daily, we broke that daily high. We should move up to 161. We may get quite a lot of volume on the break of this 30-minute high. So there we've broken the high. Looking to, I wanted to say looking to get involved now. Just going to wait for the 5 minutes to close. Won't mean much. Okay, so looking to get involved here on the break of the high for a 25 pip stop. Looking to probably do a market execution here. Okay. And I'm in. Stop loss on my broke is 520. 160, 520. And I suppose that is why you wait for the wicks to be formed. Okay, so we pushed back down into the low of the candle. We didn't exactly form a bottom wick, but we've driven back up now. If we break the high at this point, we should push up. Okay, so gold showing signs of rejection to that level. Like I say, waiting for a support to form here, waiting for a bullish 30-minute candle closure. As long as we are closing bullish on the 15-minute above 166.80, we should continue driving up. You may see your next 15-minute drop form that lower wick of the hourly to push up here. So could have waited for the 15-minute candle closure. So yeah, one trade here on GJ. You know, gold is actually setting up perfectly for what we are looking for. I'm not too sure if I want to get involved here. On a US bank holiday, already taken one trade here on GJ. Looks good. Got your support, like I say, in that area. So you probably just wait for a break of the resistance here at 1863, 300. We've got about a minute left here of our 15. If we can close above this resistance, that'll be cool. Then you should definitely see the next 15 drive up. But like I say, as long as we are above 160,680, okay, so there you go, you got your closure above this level. We should be good to drive on up here. So gold closed on resistance. Probably want to wait for a 30-minute closure here on gold. Like I say, most probably going to stay away from gold right now. As good as it looks. We may just get a push back down into support here, which would mean we're breaking this 15-minute low, but that's okay. We would still be respecting the 30-minute low and forming the wick on the new hourly candle. So could have been more patient here with this trade, but we are still looking alright. Once we tap into that support, we should begin to drive back on up. Okay, so there you go, you've tapped into support now. You've got your lower wick here on the hourly. Let's see if we respect this level. We've got about 10 minutes to our 30-minute candle closure. If we close bearish, we're probably going to get out of this trade here. We are showing signs of rejection to the support. I would like the 15-minute to flip back bullish here in the next 7 minutes before our 30-minute closes. Got about 5 minutes here. If we close below support, we'll be closing the entire position. Got 3.5 minutes to go. I'd really like to see a push up for some confirmation to stay in this trade, otherwise we will be managing risk. If our next 15-minute candle breaks the 15-minute low here, we'll close the entire position for about a 20 pip loss. Two minutes to go. If we can close bullish on the 30-minute, that will be even better. Pushing up nicely in the last couple minutes. Keeping in mind I've just moved the resistance back up to our hourly level. Closure above there will be even better. So just like that, and we should be set to drive on up. So your second 15-minute of this half-an-hour candle created that bottom wick. We are respecting support here. Okay, your new 30-minute has just opened. As soon as we break this previous 15-minute high, we should move back to our entry. We should move back into 160, 800, and then if we can clear that level, we should see price move to our first target here. So your 30 minutes on gold, we have created a support in this area how we wanted, but we did not close above resistance, and we do not have enough range moving back up. So we're most likely going to just stay away from gold this morning. If you'd like to save yourself a couple pips, you can move your stop loss to below the previous 30-minute bullish candle now. So let's say 160,580. So that should leave you with about a 20 pip stop. Our original stop was about 26 pips. Although if this candle happens to flip back bearish, we can manage our trade there as well, because right now we look pretty good to carry on up here. We've created a nice support. We are bullish, we've broken above Thursday's high there, and you've got clean range moving back up to these daily highs over here. once we break the previous 30-minute high, you should see some movement here. Currently just hovering around our entry. So if we break the low of the current 30-minute candle, I will be closing half for about 10-11 pips. Just so that we lose more than we planned on losing. Managing risk. Lose less than we plan on losing, excuse me. Your 15-minute is about to close and we are still bullish on the 15 with a bit of a wick to fill here on the 15-minute. See someone just subscribed. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay, so there you go. Your 15-minute candle is closed. We've closed bullish, but we've got a wick. We tapped into that resistance. So like I say, if your 30-minute closes, if your 30-minute flips bearish and breaks its own low, we will be looking at managing risk, closing out half or possibly even more at that point. Could see your 30-minute come tap into this support before driving up. Showing signs of rejection there to that level. Good morning to everyone who's just joined the stream. We are currently sitting in a GBPJPY, currently sitting in drawdown, looking to manage risk if this half an hour breaks its own low. Your 15 minute has just flipped bullish. We are in the last 10 minutes or so of the hourly candle here, so we could get some volume. We are moving back up here. If you see a break of this previous 30-minute high, we should push into at least this wick here, or our first target. Got about 8.5 minutes left of the hourly candle. Gold may even reject this level, as you can see. Looking left here, it's quite a strong area. If we do, then that does possibly mean that last week's candle was an exhaustion candle. As you can see, this body, even though it's bullish, the wick is bigger than the body. So if this week's candle now flips bearish, you could see it end up breaking last week's wick and move down. But like I say, looking at a pretty volatile week, we may even just be in consolidation for the rest of the week here. Depending on when you entered, you may even just be in a little bit of profit right now. Otherwise, we are sitting just below entry. As soon as we break this level, 16800, we should see some volume. Got about 5 minutes left of our hourly candle. I'd like to see a closure above that resistance. last few minutes of the hourly candle, you can see we're getting a little bit volatile now. Your hourly looks like it will be closing above resistance here, and I suppose that is your confirmation that we should still push up here. Looking to move to break even, possibly as we tap into this wick here. It's not too far away, about 8 pips. We'll see how it goes. I may not even move stops to break even. I may just decide, okay, once we tap into that level, if we drive back down, come back to break even, I'll close half. So I won't necessarily move stops to break even, but I will manage position as we move back to break even. Your hourly candle's looking pretty strong right now. Got about 2 minutes to go. Closing above resistance here. Clean range to your left. You should see price push up. We've kind of been slowly moving back up. Kind of like winding up for a big push here. So not expecting too much of a wick on the next hourly candle. Expecting a pretty explosive move. So I suppose the one benefit of sitting in drawdown this morning is we may avoid slippage. You never know. But yeah, like I say, on the daily, you know, you got the same kind of effect here where we've been like consolidating. It's very, very similar to what's going on here on a 5 minute. If you can kind of get what I'm saying. And funnily enough, as we break those lower time frame levels there, we are also breaking some daily highs here to move to the next daily level. So with breaking those daily highs, we should also get some nice volume here. Stop loss is at 160.580. 160.580. All over the place right now. Getting pretty volatile. Your hourly is about to close in about 10 seconds here. Alright, so pretty strong closure on your hourly. we've opened with no bottom wick. If we push into profit here, we will manage this position quite aggressively. Your 30-minute also closed above this minor resistance. .30 minutes coming down here to form a bottom wick. We may just tap right into this level here and reject and push up. That would be ideal. Also just note, like I say, your new hourly candle is just open, so you may get a tap back into support here. So if you break that level, that's where I will be managing positions. Right now it doesn't look too great on a 15-minute. You've got a resistance here, got some strong wick rejections, and this is currently a pretty strong bearish candle. But if you zoom out to an hourly, there's still possibility for us to flip here. So I don't want to just close as we tap into that level. If we close below there on a 15-minute, then we will manage our positions. Pushing down pretty strongly here. Not looking too good right now. But as long as we respect that level there and these lows, your previous hourly low, that's where our stop loss is right now. So stop loss is in a safe place here. If it hits, it hits. So gold's broken back below this level. Support formed on a 5 minute. Nice wick on your hourly. Looks like we will respect support here on a 15 minute. Possibly to flip bullish on your next 15 to drive on up. Good morning to everyone who's just joined. I appreciate the support. Please give the video a thumbs up. Okay, last minute here of the 15 minute. We are currently respecting that support. So just going to be patient here. New 15 minute has just opened. We are respecting this hourly level here. The 15 minute chart really doesn't look great, so let's focus here on a 30 minute. Waiting for a flip of this candle. We should see the bullish momentum kick back in at that point. Here we go. fasten your seatbelts. So since we did close bearish on the previous 15 minutes, we do need to be careful if price pulls back down again. We've basically tapped into this 15-minute resistance. Keeping in mind, if you zoom out a little bit, that's not really a major level of concern. We've tapped into and respected the hourly support. So as this hourly flips bullish, we should see it drive up here. But like I say, just keeping in mind, we are at that 15-minute resistance. We did close bearish, but in reality we are actually just in consolidation at this point in time. And taking into account that the current momentum is bullish, creating higher highs, higher lows, and we do have clean range to the left, close bullish on an hourly. There's a lot of confidence that we should still drive up here. If you have stuck around through an hour and a half of drawdown, I really appreciate your loyalty. You guys are pretty much family now. So yeah, pull through for supper tonight, whatever. Got about 8 minutes of your 30-minute candle. I'd like to see a little bit of a push up before the new 30 minutes. Possibly closing above 160, 800, that would be ideal. Just waiting here. 6.5 minutes left for the 30-minute. We are just hovering below our entry. We should see some volume on the new 30-minute. We have created the bottom wick on the hourly. You could say we grab liquidity to drive on up. Four minutes left here. Your 15-minute is definitely confirming the support here. Does not seem like we will drive back down. Pushing up here. Let's see if we break the high of the previous 30-minute. And we should get a little pop up. The 4-hour candle here on gold, like I say, closed above resistance. And now your new 4-hour has pulled back into that level, creating that bottom wick. If you flip bullish on the 4-hour, you should drive up to these levels. But yeah, it is a US bank holiday, and you may, or you probably will see volatility die out here after London session. There's quite a lot of volume on gold during Asian session last night, so I would I've thought there would have been a bit more volume here on GJ today, this morning at London Open. We've just been consolidating. Your hourly candle looks really good though. We're about to close here on a 30-minute in a bit of a sketchy area, but 30-minute and hourly looks pretty good. Your 15 is slightly worrying, but as long as you close above this resistance here, I'm happy. We've got about a minute to go. About to close. Not looking too good. We have closed a bullish doji here on the 30-minute. So your bottom candle currently forming, sorry, your 30-minute current candle, but your 30-minute candle currently is forming a bottom wick here. If we break the low on the previous 15-minute candle, we will be managing this position, closing half. You could see price tap into support here one last time before driving up, but right now there's not a lot of volume. I was expecting a little bit more here at London Open today. Thank you to everyone joining the stream this morning. So this 30-minute created a high, pushed back down, created a low. If we re-break the high at this point, then we have another area where we could manage risk below this current candle. So we've been sitting in drawdown for most of the morning here, and volume is pretty dead. I know it is a US bank holiday, but keeping in mind this is got nothing to do with the dollar, pound to the yen. We are here in London session. We should still see some movement. Gold, last night in Asian there was a lot of volume, so I am expecting some volume today on GJ. If not, and we are just stuck here in consolidation, like I say, if we break this 30-minute low now, we can manage our positions and close half. Yeah, we did create a new high on the 30-minute. We should drive up here. The 30-minute has flipped bullish. So we're moving into the last 20 minutes of the 4-hour here. I'd like to get into a couple pips of profit and just secure. Otherwise, like I say, we can manage risk below the current 30-minute candle, which will be 10 pips. And like I say, since we are coming into the last 20 minutes or so of the 4-hour, could expect to see some volatility, could expect to see a wick down on the new 4-hour. And if we break that 30-minute low without securing any profit at that point, I will probably just close out full for 10 pips, negative 10 pips. If you are new to the stream, say hello there in the chat box so I can see who's joining us today. Give the stream a like, and thank you very much for your support. Pushing up. If we can break some of these highs, we should see a nice move up. We've been in consolidation for a while, like I said earlier, kind of winding up possibly for a nice move up here. So we're looking to break above 168.30, and we should see price move here. Currently sitting in just a couple pips of profit. Pulling back quite a lot here on this 15-minute before we close, so not liking this too much. Would have liked a slightly stronger closure on a 15-minute here. Two minutes to go. Got my finger on the trigger here to close half. Shelton. Chocolate celery stick. Thank you for joining. Gold crazy today. Yeah, man, gold. I was pretty shocked to see such a move in Asian. But that's probably going to be most of your movement for the day. GJ just does not want to budge. We are about to close on a 15. Are closing bullish. Ooh, maybe I spoke too soon. Last 15 minutes of the 4 hours, so we got to be careful here. Looking to manage risk if we break the low of this current 30-minute candle. We did basically close above resistance, this very minor resistance. On a 15-minute, your new 15-minute tapped into that level, creating a bottom wick and driving up. Not really a spot you want to be in. We've just been in consolidation here. We've already taken some risk off the table by moving our stop loss about 6 pips here from below that wick to now below the previous hourly. And like I say, if we break the previous 15 or current 30-minute low, probably just going to close out full, and that'll be negative 10 pips. Okay, so we're going to close it out here for negative 10 pips. Yep, is what it is. If you tapped into that support, you never know, you could drive up here, but you got 10 minutes of your 4-hour candle. You could see a wick formed on your new 4-hour candle before driving up, but I mean, yeah, it's a US bank holiday today. You may just see price consolidate. Took this trade just after 9. We had a 26 pip stop. Got your support there on gold, expecting this level here on a 4-hour. Next hourly candle you could see price drive up and then possibly even retest these highs, but like I say, I'm done for the day here, guys. I mean, your GJ is looking like could still play out, but took L here this morning. 4 hours about to close. We should see a lower wick form on the 4 hours, so you're probably going to sit in consolidation here for a little bit longer, and it's just a mess right now. Your hourly looks pretty clean, possibly for a break of these highs here. Sorry, I've been muted. Yeah, your 4 hour looks like it'll be closing above resistance here, so you most probably will see your next 4 hour drive up to 161. If that is the case, it looks like we may be respecting the support here. So, arguably hopped out too soon, but I would say better that we managed risk. Gonna stick around for the hourly close, see what happens, and then I'll be off. So it looks like it will respect the support here and possibly continue up. Do want to be cautious of the new 4-hour candle opening, but with all this consolidation, once we break these highs, you should see price move up really nicely. I'd like to see the new candle wick at least into this area here. You got that 30-minute resistance, as well as, just looking left here, your previous 4-hour wick there. And then we should be good to drive up. I mean, if not now, never. Or maybe we just push straight up. You may even get a move up here with no bottom wick on the 4-hour and then come back and create that bottom wick later. But for a possible entry, I'll wait for that 4-hour bottom wick. So yeah, two things happen here. We break those highs and just move straight up. We miss the trade. or we wait for a bottom wick here on this new candle, and then if we come back and re-break these highs, we can get involved. Honestly, I think we may just go straight up here. Tato, how's it? I'm not too eager on taking a buy right now. You got no wick, bottom wick on this current candle. You could see a strong push up now, but it's a very risky trade. Man. So yeah, we could have been in about 10 pips of profit here. Played it safe and managed the position as we started to push down before the hourly close. Closed negative 10 pips. It is what it is, you know. So I think GJ is going to leave us in the dust here. Gold, on the other hand, you've got a support form now at this level. Let's see on a 30. Your 4 hour is bearish, but you could see a push back into, 1861, 150. previous 15-minute year in gold closed with no bottom wick. So you got a higher probability of now moving up a little bit off of this support, considering taking buys on the flip of this candle. We were waiting for support to form in this area. So we're gonna have a buy stop at 1859.295. With your stop loss below the previous 30-minute. So looking at 1857.45. So we are taking this with the lower time frame trend here, but keeping in mind your 4-hour was bearish. We are basically planning to catch the top wick of this 4-hour here. You have formed a pretty nice support on a 30-minute and an hourly time frame in this level. So there GJ tapped into the first target. So original position would have worked out, but you know, it's the way things go. yeah, you basically had a fake out of this level as well, broken back in. Your new candle is retesting that support level to push on up, and like I say, create that top wick of the 4 hour. Your 15-minute candle is about to close here. Your 15-minute here closed with no bottom wick as well. Tapping into that support now. So not the safest trade here, playing with a slightly different concept. Maybe it's not the best day to be trying new things either with a US bank holiday. We have had some nice volume and gold so far today. And we are sitting at a support. Like I say, your 4 hour doesn't have much of a top wick, anticipating us to push back into 1861 before possibly continuing further down or consolidating for the rest of the day. Minimal movement here, but we've pretty much respected that support, created a support here on a 5 minute. Let's see if we get some movement. So yeah, I took this trade on something that I've seen a few times before and just decided to execute on it here this morning. Like I say, maybe it wasn't the best day to do that, but we are respecting the support and are moving back up here. If we do close bullish on a 15 or 30, you obviously have a higher chance of pushing up a little bit further here. Neither of your two previous 15-minute candles had a bottom wick, also supporting our case for price possibly pushing further up here. Going to have the TP at 1861 on the dot. .30 is just about to flip bullish. .30 also got 5 minutes to close here. Looking to close half at about 8 pips. As we tap into that previous candle's wick. We've got 1 minute left for the 30-minute candle. Currently a 15-minute is bullish we have respected that support level at 1858. Pretty strong push down, haven't hit stop loss. Tapped into support. Had a bit of a rejection, so no way we can manage this trade. Missed stop loss by a pip. Okay, well there we go. Yep. What can you do? Anyway, I'm out of here, guys. Sorry about that, eh? We'll be back and we'll be better. Cheers everybody, enjoy the rest of your day further.